Hello, this is Redithan, and today I can't keep up this accent. Welcome to GPC Season 5, Week 10, I think. You may be able to tell by my horrible impression of the intro that I am not indeed Redithan, Ethan. I and he are not the same, but instead I'm Rufus, as you may remember from such hit as the Halloween video. Anyway, so basically, Ethan wanted me to record this game, and so I said I will. So, looking at the team matchup, he's up against the Montreal Habsols. This is a must-win game for Ethan. Um, Basically, he needs to win out the rest of the season, and then hope some other people lose in order to make playoffs. And so that is our goal. That is our goal because I kind of have been helping him out a little bit with team planning. So if you scroll over, we he did make a few transfers. And not sure if he's already gone over this, but he's now got Mega Ordino and Kieran Black, which are quite threats. What did he? It doesn't say what he dropped. Mega Altaria, Beartic, Sceptile, and Embryon for those things, I think. Um, anyway, so we're against Montreal Habsols. Um, which could bring Zapdos, Mega Gardevoir, Entei, Klefki, Mega Bayonets, because you can draft two Megas in GPC, Tentacruel, Mienshao, Uxie, and Druddigon. Now, the first thing looking at the team matchup is Mega Gardevoir is a massive, massive threat. Like, let's just scroll over so both of our teams are in the shot. There we go. Mega Gardevoir is a massive threat. So obviously we don't really need to prep for Mega Bayonet that much, but Mega Gardevoir, big threat. Our only resist is Skarmory, and it can easily carry Thunderbolt to deal with Skarmory. Other than that, his speed tiers are very similar actually. He's got a lot of 100 speeds, and Zapdos, Mega Gardevoir, Entei, Tentacruel, a lot of things on kind of 100 speed. So what's good is we can outspeed most of his team with Terrakion and Lipard, which is very useful. The only problem being he also made transfers, and he got Dugtrio, which really threw a spanner in the works because branded Terrakion could do a ton of damage, but alas, now Dugtrio can just trap and kill, so we can't really just bring band and win games, or just bring Life Orb and kind of Sword Stance up. Um, what other threats include Entei, because we got Rotom Wash as our only real thing to deal with it. Um, Mienshao is a massive threat actually. Like again, we don't have a resist other than Nidoking, and Nidoking does not like taking hits, so that will be a problem. Mienshao is going to be a big threat. Dugtrio is going to be a big threat, and also Mega Gardevoir. Those are the big things we're planning on prepping for. So let's skip over to the team which Ethan built. And here we are with the team that was built. So basically, the team building process was I built a team, Ethan built a team, then I built a team which I thought Asta would bring. I fought against Ethan, then sent him the team that I built for him. We compared notes, changed things up, and that's how we arrived at this team. I think we both very much agreed that especially defensive Ordino was a must bring. Like, especially defensive Ordino could do a lot of damage to not it does not a lot of damage. What am I talking about? It's the only thing we have to take hits from Mega Gardevoir. Even so, does like 40% Hyper Voice. So it's Mega Gardevoir still a massive threat, but at least now we have something to switch into it, Thunder Wave it, and cripple it, and hopefully be able to win from that. So that's the only real purpose of Mega Ordino. Then we have Skarmory. It's fairly standard set, defensive set. We kind of need this for any kind of physical attacker. The reason for the citrus berry, because that's like an odd bring, is because he's basically so we don't get two hit shotted by Mian Xiao. So it's so we can switch into Mian Xiao, and then he does his thing, then we eat the citrus berry, and then get back up to a suitable amount of health, so we can safely brave bird it or roost up on a predicted switch potentially. I keep on saying we. I didn't actually do any battling. It was all Ethan, but I feel like I need to be included somehow. But other than that, fairly standard set. Removal, attack, roost, hazard. It's the most standard Skarmory set. Works really well. Big fan of Skarmory. Yeah. Then we got Terrakion, Berry, Sword Stance, Substitute, Stone Edge, Earthquake. And our speed outspeed is Mian Chao. Basically, this is a set of my creation because I thought, well, we don't really need any coverage outside of Edgequake. Like that, it's all we need. And so I might as well just slam on a substitute and sword stance and hope to win from there. Berry is so we can take a hit from a what's it called, Dugtrio, because as I said, Dugtrio could easily trap and kill this. So we need something in order to get rid of it. There were kind of three options: Scarf, which again with only Edgequake coverage, not I we with Edgequake being the only coverage we need, Scarf is kind of useless. It feels not particularly useful. And then and also there's always the potential of him bringing Scarf Dugtrio to counter our Scarf Terrakion. Or then Shed Shell, which it would be counter, which wouldn't really work because we've got a setup set, and so we don't really want to be switching out that much. We want to kind of take a hit and win. And so Berry was the decision. Other than that, this is kind of our primary win con. So we use other things to bust some holes, stuff like Nidoking and Kyurem. These things bust holes, and then Terrakion comes in and then cleans up late game. So then we've got our physically defensive Rotom Wash. This is primarily for something like an Entei, also incredibly useful for stuff like Bayonet. Potentially can take a hit from Mian Xiao. Just general good bulk. There's not much really to say about physically defensive Rotom Wash. It's a physically defensive Rotom Wash. It does what physically defensive Rotom Wash does. Then we've got Assault Vest Kyurem, Fusion Bolt, Earth Power, Iron Head, Ice Beam. This is enough coverage to hit all of his team. Speed outspeeds Adamant Entei, because obviously Entei has to be Adamant if one's on Sacred Fire or Extreme Speed. And I decided to put on the Assault Vest, because the Assault Vest was my choice. Because then we can very easily switch into a Zapdos, and then, like, for example, if Zapdos comes in to remove our hazards, then we can just easily come in, either take a Thunderbolt really easily, like it does 0, and then, or alternatively, do what was I going to say? Or alternatively, just switch on our Defog and just take those hits, and then win, and then just get a massive hit off on whatever he wants to switch in, which will not appreciate any of the moves. There's not much else to say. Again, Kieran Black coverage hits his whole team. Nothing really switches in. Fun times. Also, it's to take hits from Tentacle, because Tentacle can only really run Dazzling Gleam to hit us, and that's still not going to do anything to a Self-Vest Kieran Black. And then finally, Nidoking. Ethan decided to bring a physically offensive Nidoking, because it packs the coverage we need it to pack. Earthquake can Oko Gardevoir anyway, so there's not much point running Poison Jab. Fire Punch is to hit a thing I can't remember. Mega Horn is for Uxie, and then Sucker Punch is priority, so we don't get completely destroyed by Dugtrio, which will be nice. Yeah, that's the team which Ethan decided to bring, and so let's get right into his battle. And here we are in the battle. This was quite the well spectated battle. Many people joined. Many people saw this, which was quite fun. Um, in terms of the team he brought, very much expected. Zapdos expected. Dugtrio basically guaranteed. Gardevoir obviously guaranteed, and so is Mienshao. Uxie and Klefki, we're gonna. Klefki is always difficult for us to break. That's what Fire Punch the King was for. Just remembered. And aside from that, sorry about the shuffling noise. If you heard that, that was me adjusting my position. Aside from that, Uxie will be fairly difficult to break. Yeah, it's going to be a fun one. We both have massive threats for each other's teams. Well, yeah, both Ethan and Asta both have massive threats for each other's teams, so it'll be very interesting to watch. And I just got a Discord notification if you heard that. Right, let's play now. So Asta decides to lead off with Zapdos, as Ethan decides to lead with Nidoking, potentially predicting the Klefki lead, which makes sense. But in the end, this is actually complete blind. Nidoking switches out, which I'd say kind of I could have run HP Ice. So Ethan switched out, probably predicting the HP Ice, and goes into Rotom as Zapdos reveals the U-turn and gets the critical hit, which definitely mattered. And U-turn's likely because Nidoking isn't a free switch in. Gardevoir comes in, Ethan goes into his only real switch in, which is his Ordino, obviously. It takes 47%, which is crazy. And then another 35 for the next hit. So Ethan's just forced to wish up and click protect because that's really his only play. He can't lose Ordino this early because that's his only thing for Gardevoir. So Ethan has a really switch in, so Asta has a really good switch into Uxie, and Ethan doesn't really have anything great to switch in except for Skarm, which is a good thing, but can't really kill it. So then U-turn does not do damage against the Skarmory, and Asta again has the easiest switch into Zapdos of his life. And Ethan goes into his Ordino just to try and take a hit, and it does so incredibly well, and then goes for another Thunderbolt. Ethan just chews that up, and obviously has to click protect here. He's not going to take any risk. And yeah, obviously clicks protect. And at this point, you're kind of in a bit of a stalemate, because Klefki can't really touch Ordino can't touch Klefki, and so they both just paralyze each other. And then Ethan switches out Skarm, obviously wanting to remove the hazards which Klefki is setting up, which well, of course allows Klefki to get another free Thunder Wave off, which is doing what Klefki does best, which is spikes and Thunder Wave. And again, every single time Skarm comes in, Zapdos has the freest switch in, but Ethan does pull a double into Rotom, which is nice. Well done him. But was it really a double? It's not actually a double. What am I talking about? But Rotom can just get the Toxic off, but Thunderbolt does do quite a bit of damage. Then Ethan goes into the Kyurem. Obviously, I was talking about how it's a very good switch in, but Asta predicts that, clicks the U-turn, and just gets on out of there. as Asta goes into Uxie. Now he doesn't want to really risk this thing getting Thunderwave off on Kyurem. And so, yeah. Where was I? I lost my train of thought. Uxie just can get 3 Stealth Rocks up because Kyurem's obviously switching out. Asta's been playing really well this game, and yet no one's got a kill. And at which point Uxie gets a U-turn off, and because Rotom is slower, it can stay in and click the plane split, which is very nice, get that recovery up. At which point Ethan misses the Hydro Pump against Gardevoir as it switched out. I'm not sure whether this mattered in the long run, but it's very, very unfortunate. Kind of just salt in the wounds. If it's hacks, it doesn't matter. It's just salt in the wounds. Yeah, okay. Yeah, so that's unfortunate. At this point, Rotom just has to get out of there. Go into dedicated switching, which is the Ordino. And as Gardevoir kicks Thunderbolt, probably predicting the Skarmory. Ordinary kicks Thunderwave, predicting Gardevoir to stay in. It does not. Klefki comes in, and we're kind of in a bit of a... No, we're not. It's not the war yet. And yeah, as he tries to Thunderwave again, predicting the switch out into potentially Mienshao, but alas, no. Then he goes for the U-turn again, as Ethan clicks the wish. Ethan basically this Ordino is just kind of staying in, stalling everything out. Wish recovers a whole 5%, and yeah, it's not much really to say about this battle. It's just kind of, for a bit, it's Ordino stalling things out. Oh, something happened. That was good. That was a good one. Good one, Ethan. Let's pause that and just analyse that. And so that was good. Well done, Ethan. You predicted switch out there. Goes for Thunderwave. Paralyzes the end shell on switching, and that's a big old threat. Kind of neutralised-ish. So Ethan goes for the protect here, protecting the high jump kick. Mienshao goes for the U-turn. And now Ethan's fairly safe in clicking U-turn. In staying in, I think he's confident that this Mienshao is choiced in some way, potentially scarfed. Now to outspeed the Terrakion and also the Lipard. Ethan now wants to go into the Skarmory just to kind of remove the hazards which Klefki's been switching up, which just being annoying. At this point, again, every single time Skarm comes in, it's a free switch in to Zapdos, but Ethan goes now into his Nidoking, forgot the name for a moment, on the Thunderbolt and plays it very well. And then, Zapdos gets on out of there and goes into Uxie as Ethan clicks the Fire Punch. And at this point, Asta does not see the Mega Horn coming. Ethan clicks the Mega Horn and it does not kill. But Asta sets up Stealth Rocks, predicting him to switch out. At this point, Ethan should click another Mega Horn and take out the Uxie. And that's the first kill of the game. And now Dugtrio comes in. Obviously, he can't switch out. His play is just to Sucker Punch. So he clicks Sucker Punch, and Dugtrio lives. It's obviously got HP investment because it can afford to, because Ethan's fastest thing is the Terrakion, and so it can safely click Earthquake and get the kill from there. Now Ethan can incredibly safely go into Skarmory, as again Asta incredibly safely goes into Zapdos. And at this point, again, we're back in with Ordino. This is kind of what you get when you've got Ordino and Skarmory on the same team. This kind of stall war. So the stall war occurs for a little bit. Not much really to say. Mienshao comes in, Rob gets Rob, not Rob. So okay, there. Ethan gets paralyzed. This is a long game. Rob clicks the U-turn, and again free switch into Zapdos. Just this is kind of it. It gets better. It does get better. Orzo comes in, chews up the Thunderbolt. I'm going to speed this up a little bit because it's just a lot of Orzo stall for a while. Yeah, Spikes get set up. Orzo gets fully paralyzed. Orzo gets very paralyzed again. There we go. Orzo gets the wish when it needs it. Zapdos comes in. Orzo gets fully paralyzed again. Zapdos clicks U-turn. Orzo is just kind of sitting here being fat. Dazzling Gleam does a whole 11%. Mian Shao comes in, takes a lot of damage from the Dazzling Gleam. That's very good. Now Skarmory comes in, takes a high jump kick, reveals the Citrus, eats that up, and lovely jubbly. Now, at this point, Ethan kind of knows that Rob is switching out. I'm just going to slow it down again. Ethan knows that Asta... Well, okay, Asta just gets fully paralyzed a bit. And they both get fully paralyzed. Oh, that's fun. Yeah, this is yellow magic everywhere, the game. And then Rob could just... Rob... Why is Rob on the screen? There we go. Rob goes down. And now Gardevoir comes in. What's Orzo's health at? 95%. But at the same time, Skarm just can... It's on 1. So there's not much point keeping it around. So Skarm could just get sacked to the Hyper Voice. Now, Rotom comes in for some reason and takes the Thunderbolt and gets out of there again. And then goes in, and so Ethan, actually that's good, takes a hit, pivots into Terrakion, at which point Terrakion comes in and he doesn't really have anything to switch into Terrakion since Uxie went down. So Terrakion just could very safely click Stone Edge. As Klefki comes in, not much of a threat. Well, look how much Stone Edge does. But of course, Ethan has to get out of there because he doesn't want to get Thunder Waved. Which allows Klefki. Ethan knows. Asta knows that. Names. It's a long game. But at this point, Asta sacks off Klefki because it's pretty useless at this point in the game. Mega Gardevoir comes in. At this point, Kyurem is not useful in the slightest, so Ethan sacks this thing off. And now what Ethan needs to do, because at this point, let's just pause, at this point, Terrakion wins. As soon as the Reflect goes down, as soon as Ethan goes down, as soon as the Reflect goes down, there we go, words, then Terrakion wins, because it can just Stone Edge the Gardevoir, win, Earthquake the Dugtrio, relive a hit from Dugtrio, and then Stone Edge the Zapdos. This is basically game so long as Ethan does not get fully paralyzed enough times. So, all is going well. He just needs to stall out against Gardevoir successfully. He gets the first Wish Protect up, and he gets fully paralyzed next turn. He needs to get not fully paralyzed this next turn, and he does. And now he needs to click the Protect to not get fully paralyzed, but he does get fully paralyzed. Fortunately for Ethan, he has stood out just enough turns so that he can just sack off his Rotom, and then Reflects would have worn off, and then Terrakion comes in and clicks the Stone Edge and wins. So Terrakion comes in. He's not playing any games. Clicks Earthquake, doesn't want to miss. And now, at this point, okay, the only way Ethan can lose this game is if, I'm going to pull a Shroom Reaver here, is if Zapdos dodges a Stone Edge. That is the only way that Ethan can lose this game. Terrakion is in, and all is good. So Doshio comes in. We've got the Sugar Berry. We can live. It's fine. Just click the Earthquake and win. But he gets the crit. And Terrakion goes down. And that is the game for Master. And as you can see, and this is why Ethan did not want to record this game, because if I was in position, I would never want to see this game ever again. Because he had the win, and then he got Shroom Ravered. Yeah, that is disheartening, and that actually just sends him right out of the playoff race, which is incredibly unfortunate. But it's the game we play, and it's kind of funny. Like it was really funny to watch at the end, and then he got really mad, and it was really just hilarious. But sadly, Ethan's out of the playoff race. But on the bright side, next week, week 11, final week, you can see some spicy memes. So look forward to that next week on the Reddithan channel. But for now, but that will not be with me, fortunately for you. Thank you for enduring 20 something minutes of me. The end.